Hello everyone, I am Brett, aka the Connecticut Gamer, and I want to first start off by apologizing for my extreme hiatus. My last video had released in September of 2022, and around that time I had realized that I'd wanted to do video game club at my school again, and I didn't want to interrupt the flow of everything with game club because everything was at my school and all that. I didn't want to have to bring things home if I didn't have to. And so it was just easier to not do videos, which is why I took such a long hiatus. But I'm going to do a video. This will end up actually being 2 parts because I have so much stuff. But I'm going to try to show you guys some of the coolest things that I've acquired in the 7-month hiatus. And it's quite a bit of stuff. Let's get right into it. So I want to start out with 2 of the smaller items that I got. My 2 smallest items I'm going to show in this video. And did I get smaller things? Yes. However, because I already know this is going to be a 2-part video because I have quite a few things here. And also partly because I wanted that element of surprise to everything, I decided it would just be easier to talk about these 2 items first. They're the smallest things I want to showcase. I mean, yes, I did get smaller things, and one of them I am going to showcase. But it's in its case, and these are just loose. So, on a technicality, these are smaller. And these are smaller. And these are the GBA games that I want to show off. First one is Pokemon Ruby. Yes, I still own Sapphire. Yes, I still love Sapphire. Yes, I still prefer Sapphire. However, this was $20 at a GameStop. Actually, in my hometown GameStop. Which I thought was surprising, firstly, because I had a GBA game. And secondly, Pokemon Ruby for $20 is unheard of, to say the least. Actually, when I had seen it, I had asked the guy if I could check it, make sure it was authentic. And he had said something along the lines of, oh, I've never seen people try to replicate these, whatever, never seen them reproduced. But I know for a fact that these are some of the most commonly reproduced games ever. That the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance Pokemon games are so easy to replicate. And people have gotten so good at it. They do it all the time. So there are a couple ways that I used to tell that it was an authentic cartridge. However, keep that in mind that there are a couple things you need to look out for if you buy a Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance game that is commonly reproduced. And don't just assume it's real. If anything, assume the opposite. Next game I got that I think you guys will enjoy, Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3. I paid $22 for this game from Retro Game Store. I think it's great. I think it's fun. Yes, I already own the NES one right here, I believe. This one, the other one. But I'd wanted it portably, and for $22, I couldn't pass it up. So the next thing I have to show off is my technicality, and that is Kirby Canvas Curse on the DS. And actually, technically, I bought this game as just the cart from GameStop, and then I got the case from Retro Game Store that only had the case and didn't have the complete game for $2. And so I was able to make a $80 game out of a $22 purchase because the game was $20. It was a good purchase. I enjoy the game. I think it's fun. I think more people should play it. However, it is a pricey game, so I fully understand people not playing it. The next thing I'd like to talk about, and probably the biggest thing I'm going to talk about, isn't a game, it's actually a system. And that is that this year for Christmas, I got a Switch. And because I got the Switch, I got, I want to say 25 games. Now, granted, all but 3 of them were purchased with my own money. And I didn't get them all at once. I got them over the course of, actually got the first one at the beginning of December. In preparation for getting the Switch, mind you. But so I'm going to very quickly run through some of my favorites. Link's Awakening on the Switch. It's obviously, as most of you probably know, a remake of the Game Boy game. So obviously with new graphics. It's a very good game, a very fun game. I enjoy it. I have a lot of fun with it. I think it was worth the money. Metroid Dread, from what I understand, is pretty much a direct continuation of Super Metroid. Again, really fun, really interesting. A darker tone of a game, but one that I definitely still have a lot of fun with. Another one I definitely recommend. Thirdly, Breath of the Wild. I can't speak enough praise about this game. It is an amazing game. I love this game. On my Switch, my second most played game is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I have about 18 hours sunk into that. And I have right about 60 sunk into this game, and I've had my Switch for months. Like, I love this game. Nextly, Super Mario Odyssey. This is another really fun one, really good one. This is another one I've sunk quite a few hours into. I've sunk, I believe, 14 into this game. Definitely one that I'd recommend. However, if you're more into the 2D Mario games, I'd steer clear of this. It's a very 3D oriented Mario, like Super Mario 64 or Sunshine or even Galaxy. And I just think there are better suited Mario games for a 2D playstyle. Obviously, Smash Bros. Ultimate. Is it as good as Melee in my opinion? No. Is it still a really fun game? Yes. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Such a good game, such a fun game. This is another one I've sunk, I think, probably 10 or 11 hours into. Fun game. Fun game. And then finally, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which, as you probably have noted, is a European version, but it still works on my North American Switch with no real differences, and I can still play online, so I really don't care. So the last thing I'd like to talk about in the first part of this video are going to be my NESs. And initially I had 2, now we have 3. So the first one, as I'm sure most of you know, this bad boy I've had since I was a kid. I had got it from a retro game store up in Winthrop, Massachusetts. It initially had some issues, however, they've been fixed. However, issues are very prone on first model NESs. Second one I'd like to show off, and the other one that I had as of September of 22, is the other first model NES that I have, and that is from my grandfather. It currently has issues. It works, but it doesn't work the greatest. and it definitely needs a proper service. However, the NES that I got just a couple weeks ago, and the one that I am very proud of actually, and the one that I'm happy to get to finally use, is my little second gen, or as it's commonly referred to, the top loader. Which, for those of you who don't know, the top loader NES was released in 1994, I believe. And it was released in not limited quantity, but not a lot of people bought it. Because, obviously, 94, the Super Nintendo had been out for a while at that point. However, it's a much better system, functionality-wise. And also the nice thing about it is it can play European imports without the need of any modding. And I just prefer it. The only issue, I guess you'd say, is that, as I'm sure a lot of you know, the first model NES had composite video out. Mono sound, but still composite video nonetheless. The second model, very sadly, does not. And that's my one gripe with the system, is that it does not have composite out. Which isn't a deal breaker, but it would definitely be nice. And yes, I do know that there are some out there that are modified to have composite video, and some of them were even done in-house at Nintendo. However, they're so stupidly rare and stupidly expensive that it would not be worth it, in my opinion. So with all that being said, I believe that is going to just about wrap up the first part of this video. Per usual, if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And I will see you guys in the next one.